Welcome to the Discover Barnstable, the official podcast of the town of Barnstable, a podcast where you can meet the people who steward the programs and services for the town of Barnstable that connects us to our quality of life. We invite you to join the conversation as we navigate municipal government and our community pathways to help you discover Barnstable. I'm Paula Hersey, and today I am joined by Sarah Beal Fletcher, the station manager for Channel 18.
Hi, Paula.
Hey, Sarah. It's been a while since we've been on camera together and on a microphone.
I know, right? This is kind of great. I've been really looking forward to this because, we work together every day.
Right.
So this is awesome.
Right. And I don't always have a chance to interview my coworkers in such an intimate way here. So let's start off like, who are you and what do you do?
Okay. My name is Sarah Beal Fletcher, like you said. I've been working for the town for 17 years, actually this month. And I have worked for Channel 18 only, which I think is pretty great. I've worked almost every job you could have at Channel 18. I grew up in Falmouth. I live here in Barnstable now with my husband, our 2 kids, and our 3 cats. And I absolutely love working for the town. And I absolutely love the podcast Discover Barnstable.
Yeah,
I listen to it all the time because I'm not always in the room when you guys are recording. So it's so great to be able to listen and learn about all the things that are going on in the town. So I'm excited to be a guest today.
Right. And Discover Barnstable actually came through when we retooled Channel 18 just before actually the pandemic back in 2019. So let's give folks an overview of Channel 18. Some of us might know the channel because of public meetings. Some of us might know because they've seen a show that we've done. In the past, we had a daily news show. So give us that quick elevator speech is, what is Channel 18?
Channel 18 is the government access channel for the town of Barnstable. What that means is that we are how people learn about what's going on in the town. Our main focus at the top of what we do every day is meeting coverage. We record and facilitate and produce over 40 meetings a month for the town of Barnstable, which I think is the most on the Cape and probably the most in America.
It feels like it's some
honestly
weeks.
There are very few meetings that we don't facilitate in some sort of way. So that's the top of what we do. We cover everything from town council to land acquisition and preservation committee and everything in between, from advisory to regulatory, school committee, conservation commission, you name it, we cover it. So that's the main purpose of Channel 18. We like to, we keep government open and transparent. We want everyone to know what's going on all of the time and make it available for them.
Right. And Channel 18, for folks that don't realize this, we are on Comcast, Channel 18, which is way down on the dial that you probably don't use. But maybe you should listen to this podcast because at the end we might have some exciting news.
Possibly. Some
possible exciting news. But let's talk a little bit about how Channel 18 really does, the meetings piece of this is definitely the bread and butter of what we do as a staff every single day. But there's a lot more that our community should understand about Channel 18, and that's content that matters. So let's talk a little bit about how Channel 18 kind of came up with content that matters, that moniker, that mantra that we use every day, and what we actually do when we're not recording a meeting.
Right. So about 3.5 years ago, we decided that the grind of a daily news show just wasn't cutting it. We didn't feel like the content that we were creating for the residents and the visitors of the town just wasn't, we were creating a lot of content, but it wasn't great content. So we sat down, we, kind of brainstormed and we're like, what could we be doing differently? And that's how Content That Matters that came about. And we decided, okay, we're not going to do a daily news show every day, which I know some people miss, but the content we're creating now is so much better, so much more informative, so much more engaging. So about 3 years ago, we stopped doing the daily news show. And unfortunately, at the same time as when the pandemic hit,
right.
COVID-19 came about, and we had just redone our TV studio. We had all new lighting, new flooring. The space was looking great. And then we couldn't use it. And we couldn't use it for about 1.5 to 2 years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But we decided to make the switch to content that matters, and that includes meeting coverage, obviously. We switched, and we have basically 4 kind of units that we do. We have a documentary unit that we create a great show that is under that banner called Municipal Matters. It's just an absolutely amazing show. It kind of does deep dives into different topics. You produce that mostly with Stone Dow, and you guys do an amazing job. We've covered things from recreation in town to CPC, the census, all sorts of things that we've covered with that. The other units that we do also, we have a PSA unit, which is a public service announcement, which are those like quick, short little videos, 30 seconds to 90 seconds to kind of give you the information that you need. We also have a current events unit, which we cover events like the Veterans Town Hall every year here at Town Hall. We do live events. So we've done the Rolling Rally out on Main Street with that. So it's kind of like, and it can be pre-recorded things too, because we've done press conferences with the state and stuff like that. And then we also have the studio unit, which is where we're recording Discover Barnstable today. You see Discover Barnstable. It's a podcast, but it's also a video that you can watch. You can watch it on our channel on YouTube, on video on demand. And we also create Town Talk, Chief Chat, and we've got some other, I'm not going to say what they are. I'm not going to, throw that under the bus just yet, but we have some other projects that we're working on bringing into the studio unit. So we're trying to really create more engaging content for our residents and for our visitors so they can understand what the town is, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and giving them the information in just a more interesting way instead of just throwing everything at them.
Right. And it's an interesting concept when you talk about content. We also produce Barnstable 101, which our newest staff member, David Hevner, has really just taken under his wing and is creating those how-tos. Like, we have some residents that can be technically challenged. We have some staff that are technically challenged.
I'm technically challenged.
Some of the Barnstable 101 production pieces are really designed to help a resident get walked through a particular process that the town has, whether it's a beach sticker or transient moorings, or maybe it's something about a particular, tax bills. That was a big one.
Understanding your tax bill this year was a huge one, and the response for Assessing 101 was absolutely amazing. David did an amazing job of kind of taking the information from Lane Partridge, our director of assessing, and, putting it out there in a way that was easily digestible to people so they could understand what their bill was saying to them. Because it's not an easy thing to understand, especially, with the changes that were in it this year and how different it was.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about technology, right? We'll save the really cool stuff for the end. So this is more on the side of folks who literally have never been in town hall. Channel 18 has kind of finally morphed into their own space. So talk a little bit about studios and how we manage the day-to-day grind of recording content.
Great. So one of the things that we're very lucky to have is a TV studio right here at Town Hall in the basement. It's where we are right now recording this podcast. And we've been able to make it into a production space. And that's the focus of it. It used to be a shared office space and TV studio, which wasn't the best use of the space. It was tough because people would be working, but you'd also be doing interviews and you'd be trying to work around everybody, and you'd be like, okay, you can't type while I'm recording something. So it was tough. So now this is strictly only a production space, which is absolutely amazing. We were able to do that because we were able to take over an office on the second floor that became available. So we were able to move our staff that worked out of this TV studio space onto the second floor. We were able to move all of our control functions down to from the fourth floor at Town Hall down to the second floor. So we've really kind of centralized things. We've got the basement, which is our TV studio. We have an office on the second floor where we can control the meetings that are happening in the hearing room, the selectmen's conference room. Our 2 staff members, Stone and David, that's where they work out of. And then you and I share a space on the third floor. So it's kind of really helped, I think, our workflow a lot better. Right. So we're able to really work more efficiently, I think.
Right. So we know that we can get our channel, obviously, on a TV through Comcast, but what are some of the other ways that people can enjoy our content?
People can join our content in a variety of ways. You know,
Right.
you can watch Channel 18 if you have Comcast, like you said. We have an extensive video on demand library on the town's website. You can also watch, if you don't have Comcast, which I know a lot of people are cord cutters and they don't necessarily have cable TV anymore, you can watch Channel 18 24/7 on the town's website from anywhere in the world, unless we're blocked.
Right.
But we should, you know, anywhere you want to be, you can watch Channel 18. So if you're in Florida for the winter, but you want to keep tabs on what's going on in the town, you can watch Channel 18. I like, you know, when we do Zoom meetings, I'm always like, oh, if you don't have Channel 18 and you don't live in town, you can watch Channel 18. If you go to the town's website, on the left-hand side of the page is a box that says watch Channel 18 live. Click that. It will take you right to the live stream. Right. We have, like I said, we have video on demand where you can watch basically the last 2 years of meetings on the town's website. And we also have been really pumping up what the content that we're putting on YouTube. Right. We're really pushing a lot of our content on YouTube because one of the main reasons is that YouTube offers closed captioning. And we're trying to bridge that gap between the hard of hearing community. So we know that there are people out there that want to be able to watch our content, but maybe they do need captions. So everything on YouTube is captionable, so you can turn the captions on. And speaking of that, we also do have closed captionings on Channel 18 for all live meetings. So if a meeting is happening live and you'd like to have captions on, you can turn them on your TV and you will see live captions on every live meeting that's airing on Channel 18. We don't have it yet on non-live meetings, but which is why we're offering those things on YouTube.
Okay.
So.
Right. And you kind of brought up a good point that, you know, some folks realize that we do a majority of our meetings out of the Selectmen's Conference Room or our town hearing room, but we also do offsite meetings.
Yes,
and those
we do.
offsite meetings, for folks, we can't broadcast those live.
No.
There's no connection to our Cablecast server in order to do that. So those are recorded and then brought back to our editing stations, and we, you know, get them up as soon as we possibly can.
We get them up quickly, usually by the next day.
Right.
If not the next day, the day after that. It's a pretty quick turnaround. There's a handful of meetings that are recorded offsite, and they do take a little bit of extra time. But always, if you're looking for something you can't find it, my email address is everywhere. So don't ever hesitate to email me and say, I can't find this, or how come this meeting's not up yet? Right. I usually will have a response, or sometimes it's a good reminder to be like, oh, I got to post that. I haven't posted that yet.
Right.
So.
Excellent. And talk a little bit about staff and how we all work together. You know, you've mentioned some of our shows, but, you know, having you as my boss, full disclosure, folks, Sarah is my boss as long in Stone and David here. You give us a lot of latitude in, you know, being creative. I don't think folks might understand that, you know, meetings aren't quite creative.
No.
They can stifle some of that creativity. So how do you manage the staff to keep us kind of like motivated to creating different content?
Right. That's a great question. I have a saying that we all know and that I live by. It's teamwork makes the dream work. And I truly believe that. We are a team. We do team building things with each other, you know, a couple times a year. And I really want everyone to feel like that if they have an idea and they have something that they want to try to do or create, I'm all for it. You know, the meetings obviously are the top of what we do, but everything underneath that, as long as we stay true to the purpose and the focus of government access television, I mean, within the town, there's so much that you can do and there's so much that you can cover. And I want everyone to have an opportunity to be creative, you know, and I hope that comes across in the content that we create, you know, and I try not to be a micromanager, and I try to kind of, you know, let everyone do their own thing and, you know, check-ins and be like, okay, where's this? Where's that? What's coming up next? But I don't ever want anyone to feel like, you know, you have to do this right now and this is how this has to be. And, you know, I want everyone to have, because you're right. Just doing meetings all the time is so boring. They're important, but you know, I understand that people like to watch the meetings, but when you're recording these meetings day in, day out, night in, night out, it can get monotonous. Mm-hmm. It can get frustrating. Right. And we're all very creative people. Right. And I want that to be shown. I mean, and we've all found our niches that we, you know, ways that we can do that. So, right. Yeah.
And that's interesting. It kind of comes up to the next question that I had for you is, you know, you've had every job here at Channel 18. You've played the staff member from editing something to producing something to managing the entire staff now. What project was your favorite?
Ooh, that is such a good question. I've had a couple, but I will say one of the projects that I think really brought you and I close together was the lip sync that we did with the police department.
Oh my gosh, that was hysterical.
Yes. I think you and I had, it was a very tough project to work on. And you and I worked really closely on that with the police department and working with Lena Bevilacqua and getting that all kind of done. But, oh man, it was so much fun.
It was like trying to produce a music video with a bunch of cops.
Yes, which, not the easiest bunch to work with all the time. Some of them are really fun and gregarious, and some of them are like, nope, I don't want to be on camera. So it was a lot of fun, and I got a lot of satisfaction. And that's a creative outlet,
right? And
something that we got to work on. And I think it was a really, it had a really good impact. People loved it, which is, that's also nice.
It was probably our first. I think we've had one or two others. Our Shellfish series has had some great views, but that particular video was the first viral video that Channel 18 ever had.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, folks, it's up on Barnstable's Barnstable Channel 18's YouTube channel. See the Barnstable Police Department lip sync to Taylor Swift. It is. It'll make your day.
Yeah. It's a really good, fun piece.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun to create, and working with the police department was great, and working with you was great too.
Right.
So.
Well, we work with so many departments. I have folks, they say it to Sarah, or they'll say it to David or Stone or myself is, gosh, you guys know a lot about the town. It's because we literally interact with them every single day under so many different circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording those meetings.
Yeah, we're recording those meetings. We're trying to help them get information out about their programs and their events that they're holding. So, it's important that we have, good connections with all the departments. So we definitely, we always know what's going on. And it's funny, I always say, since I've had this job, I've learned more about conservation law and zoning law and planning law than I ever thought I would ever know.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's funny. So we do have an announcement. There'll be more information coming, and obviously, this podcast will probably play for a couple of months or so. You'll always refer back to it. But we are on the first on the Cape. Tell them.
We are the first cable access channel on the Cape to be in high definition. We will be in HD. We're still working out the kinks of what station is. So depending on when you're listening to this, you'll find us out there. Keep an eye out on our social media. If you get e-news, we'll be putting it in e-news. It'll be everywhere. You'll know where to find us, but we will be in HD, which is so exciting because we're already we've been recording all of our content on Channel 18 in high def and 4K for years, and have the ability to offer that content in the form that we've recorded it in. Right. Because the standard definition channels are not that great. The quality is not great. And high def has been out for a really long time. And so we're really excited to be able to offer our content in high definition. Right. So I know some board members are a little like, oh, do I have to start wearing makeup? Do I have to get my hair done? What do I? But it's, it's just another way we're offering a higher quality product to our residents, making sure that they stay informed and that the information that they're receiving on Channel 18 is good. You'll actually be able to read the slides that are on the screen now because they will be in high def. So it's going to be great.
Audio, folks.
Oh, and the audio.
I know you've had challenges with the audio on our SD channel for years. HD is digital audio, so those audio challenges will disappear.
Yeah, you won't have to have your TV set to 90 anymore.
Right.
You can be down in the 20s and 30s. You know, it's definitely, the audio has been improved by all of these upgrades we've made. So it's exciting.
Right. Excellent. Anything else that you want to tell our listeners before we get to those rapid fire questions?
No, I just hope that, people are out there watching, are engaging with our content that we're creating. We're open to any ideas that people might have. So don't ever hesitate to reach out and say, hey, have you thought about doing something about this or something on this, or I'm interested in this topic. We're always open to new ideas. We want to make sure that the residents and the visitors of the town are informed.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So we've got some rapid fire questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
And the first one, what's your favorite time of the day?
My favorite time of the day.
It's not morning. I know
It is not. I am not a morning person. Paula knows that for sure. It is definitely not morning. I will say my favorite time of the day is, that little piece in like the mid-afternoon, like 4:00. Mm-hmm. I'm able to kind of go home and just kind of relax before like the nighttime routine starts, or if I'm not working that night. But that like 4:00 hour, I think is really special because it's, my kids are home from school, I'm home from work, and we're all just kind of relaxing for a little bit and kind of taking a breath.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to know. What was your first concert?
Oh, this is really funny. So I listened to the podcast that you did with the resource officers, with Gene and Dennis. And I think it was Gene that said that his first concert was the Beach Boys out at, which was Otis. That was also my first concert.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, your dad was out there.
I was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
I was about 5. It was like when we first moved to Falmouth, my dad was in the Coast Guard, and the Beach Boys performed out at Otis Air Force Base. They did a big concert. It was like they had lobster dinners, and you went with my family, and that was my first concert, was the Beach Boys. So I thought it was really funny when I listened to that. I was like, that was my first concert too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think I already know the question, but I'll ask it. Where's your favorite place in Barnstable? Town Hall, right?
No. I love Town Hall, and Town Hall is beautiful, and I love downtown Hyannis. My favorite place in Barnstable is Calmus. Yeah. Calmus Beach is my favorite beach because I'm the kind of person when I go to the beach, I need something to look at.
Yeah.
And watching the boats come and go, and the kite surfers and the windsurfers, I just absolutely love it. So
we're getting to that time of year.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Lobster rolls and French fries for lunch down at Calmus.
Exactly.
Excellent. Thanks for spending time with us and listening to Discover Barnstable, the official podcast of the town of Barnstable. We hope you found a new understanding of how your municipal government works to protect, engage, and enact for you and our community. Be sure to drop us a line at podcast@town.barnstable.ma.us and let us know what you would like to learn next. Till next time, go discover Barnstable.